Hi guys, Peter Finch here and welcome now to Tech Tuesday, your weekly look at everything to do with technology in golf. And we have come to the end of the season, which means it's time for the manufacturers to really start pushing out their new products for the new year. So we're getting quite a few different drops of equipment, a few sneak peeks that will really whet the appetite of a lot of people moving into 2018. There's also a few things which have been sent through to unbox and to show you guys, and much else. More stuff. And it would be rude not to start with the Cobra driver. So it was teased on last Tech Tuesday. The embargo was the Wednesday, so I couldn't really show much of the products, but now all the picture is out and it does look pretty awesome. So it's the F8 driver and line of fairway woods and hybrids, all the rage, and they've thrown a lot of technology at these clubs. And the pictures that really stole the show, so what everyone was talking about first of all was the club face. And the club faces, they have multi-directional CNC milled faces. Now according to Cobra, the process takes 25 minutes per head and it allows the faces to produce thinner and increase ball speeds, and it also saves weight to be used elsewhere in heads, mostly low and backwards to increase forgiveness, like a lot of drivers pushing it air and back. Now, you've always got to remember with driver manufacturers, and this is something which we will come to later on in this episode, is when they talk about really thinning the face down, there's obviously a tolerance that they need so it doesn't crack, but also remember there is a limit to how fast that ball can come off the club head. So they can make the face thinner and thinner and thinner, but at the end of the day, it can't come off any faster than the legal limits will allow. But it looks amazing. It has to be said, the face in the flesh as well, not just on the pictures. It looks really, really cool, very unique and very different. And on the shelf, you would imagine it really turning a lot of heads. But then you delve a little bit onto the top of the club, and this is where we start to see a couple of technologies which wouldn't be overly new to a few people. So they've put these speed aero strips, I think they call them, on the top of the driver. And that's just to increase aerodynamics, because remember, the manufacturers, and this has been the trend for a couple of years now, they can't increase the ball speeds off the club face because of the legal limits. But there is no limit on how fast that club head can travel. So what they're trying to do is get a player who would say, let's pick an arbitrary driver, I don't know, a Callaway Great Big Bertha for a few years ago. That driver, when compared to this driver, you may be able to move this one faster through the air, and therefore that could give you that increase in distance. You know, it's just one of those things. I don't know if those two drivers are comparable, but you get what I mean. So you can say about those aero strips, they are a more attractive version of a turbulator, in my opinion. And then you get to the back of the crown, which is that carbon construction, which they are going to get a few pelters because it is so similar to how the M1 and the M2 look. And again, that is a way for them to be able to save more weight and move it around the head to give more forgiveness, or to move the weight further forward to lower spin. The weight further forward, not the head, you can't. They've also shifted the weight structure around on the bottom of the driver to give more workability, and they've added the Cobra Connect grip, which is in partnership with Arcos, which helps you tag your driver and actually see how far you're hitting it during a round. And that part of the club, that was a good advancement from last year, and it is certainly something which we will see over the next decade, more smart clubs as Cobra call it, really blending technologies to give you more accurate data when you're on the golf course. Because when you are looking, if you're a manufacturer and you're looking for ways to make golf clubs more appealing, to give it new features, this is one way to do it, to make them smarter. They've also got a line of fairway woods and irons which are coming out, a new one-length iron as well, not the pro version, but that will be following apparently according to Cobra. And the whole range looks really, really good, it has to be said. So a couple of things to show you. This is the Bushnell V4 Tour that I've been sent through, and this is the slope edition. Now, the edition that I had last time, basically the front of this disconnected. So it had a black connection and a red connection. Whatever the red connection was on, that was the slope setting. So it told you the difference between how high or low the flag was away from you. And unfortunately, that is not allowed in competition play, certainly pro competition play. So to actually fiddle between the two attachments was a little bit fussy. So what they've done is they've got this button that you can basically flick up and down here. And that, when it's on slope edition, you can check the slope. When you put it down, that just puts it to a normal setting so you can use it in competitions. The idea of it, really good. It's actually small, very compact. So for what we use it for the vlogging and all the rest of it, absolutely fantastic. Probably the only slight criticism, this is not it doesn't feel like a very secure click. And during competition play, when I was at Hesketh, when I used it for the first time, again, it was very accurate. I was happy with it all. This did tend to come a little bit unstuck in the bag every now and again. So there was a couple of occasions where I actually went to check the distance and I just noticed it was on the slope setting. So that's maybe one thing that needs to be looked at, but overall, yeah, it's another good progress in the Bushnell shot rangefinder department. And we've got to look at the new Mizuno driver as well. So this is the ST180, and it's a thing with Mizuno that when they bring a new iron out, everyone seems to get very excited, and rightly so, because their irons are some of the best in the world. When they bring a fairway wood out or a driver, people are a bit meh, which I think is a shame because they do produce good products. Certainly when I was in retail, the fairway woods I used to sell quite a lot of because of their good performance and their great feel as well. But the drivers, they've never really taken off. And when I'm looking at this driver, is there anything in there which really digs down and excites me? Not so much. But this is from my perspective, because anytime I've hit a Mizuno driver, I've always struggled to control the spin on it. It seems to spin up a load. But apparently this has new technology, this wave sole, which allows weight to be pushed a little bit further forward to reduce that amount of spin. And you never know, it might be fantastic for what I need. Generally speaking though, Mizuno drivers that I've tried in the past, for a mid to high handicapper, they've been absolutely brilliant. But I've not hit it yet, and you should obviously never give a full judgment before you've hit something. So I'll be interested to see what it's like. Second thing sent through from Bushnell is this little bad boy. So this is the XL GPS rangefinder watch. This connects to your mobile app, so you'll need your mobile when you go playing with it, and it just gives you the GPS distances to the green. So it's front, center, back, and all the rest of it, and acts as a watch as well. The actual design of this, let's get into it. So in the pack, what's tough to get into? In the pack, it's got a charge port, which is actually quite cool by the looks of it, and a little like brush thing. Charge port looks cool though, doesn't it? I just clip it onto the back of the watch, stick it in, USB. It's actually surprisingly light. I thought it would feel a lot heavier than it does. Yeah, it feels nice and soft on the wrist as well. Ooh, it's got a nice display. It's got quite a nice screen there saying 12 AM. It's definitely not 12 AM, so I guess I'll have to set this. I thought this was quite a thick book. It's in every single language known to human beings and maybe a few dolphins. And what do you think about GPS watches, guys? I've always used a rangefinder. I've never really used much of a watch. Certainly when I'm on the course at the moment, I'm using the MyRound Pro app because that's plugged directly into the strokes gained in the videos that I'm doing there. But what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer a rangefinder? Do you prefer like a watch, like a GPS, a motor caddy? Motor caddy? What are they called? Sky caddy? Sky caddy? You know what I mean, like a GPS device. What do you actually prefer to use, or do you not bother with them at all? Justin Rose also posted a picture of his new wedge that he's testing out. So this is the Hi-Toe. So very similar to what Callaway brought out, when was it? Was it last year, year before, with the Mac Daddy with the really high toe? When I tried that, I didn't initially like the look of it. It looked a little bit too out there for me. I like it to be nice and quite simple with my wedges behind the ball. I will give this one a go to see what it looks like. I think on the face of it, that does look a little bit more subtle than the Mac Daddy, that's how I feel about it, than the Mac Daddy looked. And generally, I really do like Callaway wedges. So we'll see how that looks if I can manage to get my hands on it. I'm going to end on this very interesting tweet that was sent out by the PGA Tour. And what this shows is driving distances. So from 2006 all the way to 2017, it shows that the people who were top of the driving distance on the PGA Tour, so 319, Bubba Watson in 2006, all the way to Rory McIlroy in 2017, with an overall average distance of 217 yards whilst driving. Now I wonder, if I have a little bit of a look at this, 1 second. Now I can pull up stats, and I've found stats, and with a little bit more digging I could probably do the same, but I honestly don't think it's going to change that much. Average driving distance, now this is from an article from Golf Week, from 2006, so the same time frame, up to 2015, so a couple of years ago. You can see that the average driving distance on the PGA Tour was 288.9 yards, and in 2015 it was 289, without much changing in between. And what I wanted to do is end on this point and just say that what this shows is that over the last 10 years plus, the driving distance of the very best players in the world, not only the longest players, but on average of PGA Tour players, has not changed. Now, if you contrast that to claims that manufacturers make about their drivers, about going further and all the rest of it, this doesn't seem to add up. And guys, I would love to know your comments on this. So what do you think? I would recommend that probably change your driver every 3 years or so. You may see a difference in overall distance. But here's the big kicker. If you do not change your swing, you do not change your technique to allow you to have more swing speed, which will then allow you to have more ball speed, then there's really not a massive amount that can be done. You can, however, gain more distance if you get correctly fitted. And this is the one thing that I really do want to push home. Because generally speaking, manufacturers, they will try and get you into the furthest product that they can at that time. Now, yes, that will be their new product that they have, obviously. But if you are rocking a driver from, say, 5 years ago that you didn't get custom fit for, unless you just got super lucky, if you go to a custom fitter, they will be able to get you to hit the ball further with a newer driver and a newer spec, which is better fitted for your swing. And that is how I tend to find people get the most out of a new driver. It is nice to get a super shiny club. There is no doubt about it. But looking at these stats, and the stats are fantastic because they do give an overview, not just only of what the best players in the world are doing, but the players who strike the ball the best. What it is showing is that their average distance over the years has not really changed. So guys, please comment below. Thanks very much for watching this week's Tech Tuesday. We'd love to know your thoughts and your feedback. Please follow me on my other social media platforms as well, which are all linked in the description below, especially the Twitter, the Facebook and the Instagram links. There's going to be a lot of giveaways coming up over Christmas and the new year, so make sure you follow me on those. And I've also got the big 200k giveaway. The next prizes are due to be added after I've reached 120,000 subscribers, so stay tuned for that. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.